Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm Zoran, we're still doing this franchise, Gvojic, and today we begin the final trilogy of this 7-film series with Tremors 5 Bloodlines, released in 2015. Originally, Tremors 5 started as a script by Brent Maddock and Steve Wilson entitled Tremors 5 Gummer Down Under, written during production of Tremors 4 The Legend Begins. This version would have had Bert going to Australia to fight graboid, shriekers, and ass blasters. Oh my! It was even supposed to be released theatrically, but instead Down Under was never released at all, and the franchise would lay dormant like a graboid egg for 11 years, until being resurrected by Universal's reworked direct-to-video department. Maddock, Wilson, and Roberts were offered executive producer credits, but since they weren't offered any creative control, Stampede Entertainment finally parted ways with their beloved Tremors franchise. John Welpley from Tremors 3 was brought in to retool the original 2004 script, and he changed it so much that Maddock and Wilson didn't receive any credit. A blessing in disguise. The setting was swapped from Australia to South Africa due to significant tax breaks, and directing duties fell upon Don Michael Paul, Universal's straight-to-video sequel workhorse. Who else could have helmed such hits as Jarhead 2 and Kindergarten Cop 2? Yes, those were things. This man, who started out as an actor in Robot Wars and Alien from LA, hadn't even seen a Tremors movie before actor Michael Gross forced him to watch the first one. And here is where the problems begin for me. The team at Stampede was truly the heart of this franchise. They were a family, and in my opinion, these new films fail to recapture the same magic. Oh, they try, with multiple callbacks to the original and a healthy amount of graboid goop. But this film relies too much on gratuitous slow-mo, pee-jokes, pop culture references, CGI, and a surprising amount of scenes stolen from Jurassic Park, another Universal film. But it's not all bad. After watching all the behind-the-scenes footage, this cast and crew of mostly South African locals looks like they had a lot of fun making this movie. I mean, they even made a fake ad for the movie. What are they, me?
Call the number on your screen, or go online and join SPCG, the Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Graboids, with a monthly gift right now.
Plus, the film is shot beautifully, the acting is well done, and some of the CGI effects are impressive. This is probably the most dangerous and menacing graboids and ass blasters have ever come across. Thankfully though, with all this CGI around, Bert is still a practical effect, with Michael Gross returning.
I feel myself in some ways a guardian of Bert.
Bert's now a 67-year-old man with a survivalist reality show. He's approached by the South African Wildlife Ministry to help capture a new breed of ass blaster. So, along with his cameraman Travis, played by Scream's Jamie Kennedy, they head off to South Africa, where they shoot and quip their way through this new species of graboid, with both success and groan-inducing failure.
You're the Bert Zone now!
Oh boy, change is hard, but luckily I've got the folks at Bright Cellars to help me through these new Stampede-less movies. Bright Cellars is a wine subscription service based on your personal preferences. All you have to do is take their fun and simple quiz, and they will deliver the wine to you. And your wines come in a box so small, it's practically bigger on the inside, reducing the materials and carbon footprint, all while being entirely recyclable. Plus, with the included education cards, you'll always know what you're sipping.
Why is it the critical, need-to-know information never gets to Bert Gummer?
Because you haven't tried Bright Cellars, Bert. I mean, look at this bottle. This is Gewürztraminer. Yeah, that sounds like someone's mispronouncing my last name, but thanks to this card, I too can now evolve into a true Glassmaster. And Bright Cellars is offering 50% off your first 6-bottle box. That's 6 bottles for only $55. Just go to brightcellars.com/deadmeat3 to take the quiz, support the channel, and start your wine journey. Black cherry and vanilla. Zoran likey. What was I doing again? Oh right, the kill count. Magic wine hand. Can this franchise survive by stealing its name from the lowest grossing Hellraiser movie? Let's find out and get to the kills. The TV show within the movie begins with a Bert Gummer title card. Bert is back with a new hat, a slightly grayer mustache, and some exposition to fill in those new to the franchise. Through a mix of stock footage, educational animations, and internal CGI test footage, Bert reminds us all of the graboid life cycle. Then he goes all Friday the 13th on a snake, ending the TV show and ushering us into the film. We enter the cradle of humankind in South Africa, which was actually filmed in South Africa. Farewell, California! New trackers Johan Dreyer and Bassan are investigating reports of strange creatures. But take a quick break to literally shit on this franchise. Bassan takes a dump, then a tumble into an underground cave / aboriginal art gallery. Those look familiar. Anyway, Johan comes to the rescue, pulling Bassan up.
You need to lose some weight.
Interpreting this as water weight, Bassan promptly pisses himself. Well, it's still not enough, and a shadowy ass blaster helps by removing all his weight, except for his hand. But then reconsiders, leaving us with a title card. 7 minutes in, we get our second pee joke of the movie and a callback to the original Tremors. But instead of Kevin draining his bacon, we have Jamie Kennedy wearing far too much leather for the current climate.
107 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hello, Nevada.
Jamie was of course previously seen on the kill count in Screams 1 through 3, and in a long IMDb joke from They Talk.
All the crap you've been in. Malibu's Most Wanted, Son of the Mask, Dr. Dolittle 2, and of course the Jamie Kennedy Experiment, which wasn't a movie, but God, you're so self-involved.
Jamie plays Travis Welker, originally described as a 25-year-old extreme sports nut. That is, until Jamie got the script.
I was like, hello? And they're like, yeah, they're gonna change it. So then I got the script again and it said 40.
As he prepares to find another special bush to pee on, a nice but brief Tremors-style music score by composer Frederick Weidman plays. Apparently, Frederick is the go-to man if you have Bloodline in the title of your movie, having composed Day of the Dead Bloodline and Wonder Woman Bloodlines. The score quickly gives way to extremely generic sports rock as Travis auditions for ESPN. Meanwhile, Bert's self-taping his audition for the Food Network with a cactus-marinated rattlesnake surprise. The surprise being Travis, who ruins a solid take. Travis geeks out over Bert while the cameraman Riley heads out for greener pastures.
The Real Housewives of Las Vegas.
Oh, I prefer the Real Housewives of Bixby.
Bixby, you
Travis is now Bert's new cameraman and self-proclaimed brand manager. He annoys Bert as well as myself with his constant yammering and references.
Oh, what happened to your dome, my man? You binge watch Breaking Bad again? You trying to appeal to the younger demographic? Get a little pit bull on us?
At least my references are funny, said some of you in the comments. We learned that Travis is from Pensacola, Florida, a place Bert is quite familiar with since they have a world-class gun show.
You got that look.
What look?
The I did some dirty things in Florida look.
I know that look, because this one time I was on that Figment Imagination ride and legally I can't finish that story. We interrupt this film to go back to the plot of Tremors 2, where a random man tracks down a returning character to offer them the chance to go graboid hunting. But instead of an oil tycoon, it's Eric Van Wick of the South African National Wildlife Ministry. And instead of Mexico, it's Gauteng in South Africa. I say potato, you say potato, I say graboid, my mom says tremor. Travis negotiates funding for Bert's survivalist videos, and the scene ends with this non-Hammond here, giving us the elevator pitch that sold this movie.
Bert Gummer in Africa.
A helicopter flies through some stock footage of Africa as Bert looks at some footage from the first scene in this movie. Who the hell filmed it? Who the hell cares? How about a nice South African travel slogan from pilot Den Bravers to distract you?
In Africa, when the sun rises, you better be running.
I like this guy, and not just because he's got bottle opener business cards.
Business?
A new location begets new characters, so here's Tava, Eric's assistant, with a winning smile. Oh, and Johan the Doc Ock impersonator from the opening is back. He's under strict orders to capture the ass blaster, but Bert's all about adding more graboids to his hunting log.
If you've got ass blasters, you've got graboids.
Great, slap it on the poster and let's go! Cut to Jurassic Park, with Shelley Hattler and Dr. Alan Kant digging up a graboid skeleton and doing a line callback to the first film.
We're going to be on the cover of Science magazine.
I want National Geographic.
Good luck, Earl couldn't even get in there. He had to settle for the royalty-free World Geographic. We do, however, get a great overhead shot of this newly exhumed Exogorth. Bert and the gang arrive at the reserve base camp, while Travis continues to be the bane of my existence.
Can you say bowling?
Bert complains about the low-power firearms Eric has provided him since all his real American guns are stuck in a 3-day quarantine.
Might as well use a spit straw.
A potential backup plan is introduced by this little girl Amalie, who uses electricity to teach Travis how to eat fried worms. Her mother is Dr. Nandi Matabu, a veterinarian and owner of the reserve whom Travis meets and immediately hits on in the cringiest way possible.
You are like a holiday drink, like a caramel macchiato, pumpkin spice latte, but instead of pumpkin, it's African spice.
Yeah, and that's what they kept. Here's what they cut out.
Hello, Dr. Denise Huxtable. Please bend me over and make me cough.
Nandi shrugs it off because the script tells her to, and meets Bert, who is itching to get his graboid hunt on. Meanwhile, our Jurassic Park parody has turned all porny as this paleontologist looks to unearth a different kind of bone. But a pervy graboid voyeur isn't content to watch. It wants to have a three-way! Glasses smash, cameras are shaken, and hair is flipped, in probably the most sexualized scene a graboid's ever been in, well, aside from this picture. Luckily, we don't go full Rule 34, as the actors are sucked underground to their deaths. Johan cuts his way back into the movie as a sun shower appears in all its poorly photoshopped glory.
We get them every day at this time of the year at the exact same hour. You can set your watch to it.
Just as long as it's not your geosynchronous watch, Bert. Shh. A local man named Baruti informs them that there's been another attack, so they head out. Arriving at the camp post-orgy, Bert lets them know this wasn't no ass blaster, although some ass was probably blasted. Travis continues his shoddy camera work while Johan tries to riff on Predator catchphrases.
If you dumb, you bleed.
By that logic, Travis should have blood constantly erupting from his eyes like he's in a Don Hertzfeldt cartoon. Whatever, Bert discovers the graboid fossil and lets Eric know that they have a problem.
This graboid is much larger than the North American variety. It's Africa. Everything's bigger.
Which can't be said for the budgets of this franchise. Later that night at the Ace Ventura When Nature Calls party, the natives reenact scenes from the previous films. We learn that they call ass blasters lightning birds, and this African variety only hunts at night, which actually solves an issue from Tremors 3, since their heat sensors should have been confused by the hot ground in the daytime. Okay, you're paying attention to the fan boards, I'll give you that, but this whole Travis-Nandi romance? Not something I want. And I'm not the only one, because back at the reserve we learn that Baruti has a crush on her, just like this newly arrived ass blaster has a crush on this car. Damn, I will say this movie does make these ass blasters a lot more dangerous than the slow-moving puppets of the third one. And speaking of part 3, the head of Cinemotion VFX, Victor Trikov, who did the effects for this movie, hated the goose-like look of the original ABs, so he went through multiple redesigns before settling on this vagina dentata look. Personally, I'm not a fan of these Sarlacc blasters, but the VFX team did some solid comp and animation work to bring them to life. Thaba goes all Voorhees on the blaster, scoring a gut slice that spills its still pumpkin-y blood. It retreats behind a car to give the animator's wrists a break, and Bert then joins the fray, scoring a couple splattery shots that force it to run and grab its Thaba meal to go. Johan and Bert give chase and find Thaba still alive on a nearby bridge, so Bert puts on a heat cloak and some Ghostbuster goggles to see if he can spot this ugly little spud of an ass blaster. As he hunts, we get a cool shot of a lightning-lit ass blaster that this time Jurassic World stole for the T-Rex opening in Fallen Kingdom. Oh, Universal, you incestuous monster. The ass blaster gets all Joey doesn't share food and yoinks Thaba away again, this time killing him off screen. Well, that seems a bit repetitive, but hey, that's a sequel for you. The blaster attacks the truck, and realizing he shouldn't have brought a gun to a knife fight, Bert grabs Thaba's machete and chucks it into the blaster, knocking it off the side of the bridge and onto the log. Back at the reserve, Bert tells everyone to load every gun because they're blasting ass in 10. Travis can tell Bert's a little tense, so he tries to calm him down. But Bert's done with this reality show and starts getting real.
It was a mistake having you along.
Oh, funny, that's the same thing the producers of the First Night 2013 New Year's Eve special said to him.
Are we back? Are we back? All right.
Bert, Eric, and Johan find the ass blaster cave, and with orders from Eric to capture instead of kill it, Bert attempts to lure it over with Jurassic-y flair, but it ignores him. So Johan takes a shot. It fails, and he panics like a Gennaro searching for a bathroom. The ass blaster chases Johan back to the truck and ruins his burgeoning piano career. Bert fires at the creature, causing it to launch into the air and light Johan on fire. Bert then prepares to shoot the moon while Johan puts out the flames and taunts the creature.
You can't kill me! I'm African!
But ass blasters don't discriminate, as Bert takes his shot, igniting the blaster and sending it to the ground, crushing Johan in the process. You will not be missed, you poor man's Riddick. Oh, and we can now Johann Sebastian knock another ass blaster onto the log. Eric is upset that Bert killed the blaster, and to a lesser extent Johan, and Bert really doesn't seem fazed by inadvertently taking a human life. Okay, this feels entirely out of character to me. Michael Gross, he's even stated that he's proud that the violence and guns in these films were never directed at humans. So to have this death, played off so casually just feels wrong. Bert discovers a very different looking graboid egg in the blaster corpse, and then Eric puts on his double-cross pants, something I would never do. Because it turns out he's not with the Wildlife Ministry at all. He's a poacher looking to sell the ass blaster egg to the highest bidder, and he needs Bert out of the picture.
Kill me, but you won't cage me.
Looks like despite all his rage, he's now just a bird in a cage. Unable to escape, Bert makes like a high-end call girl, stripping off his clothes and taking a golden shower.
The Maasai have been using urine as an insect repellent for centuries.
And that's number 3 for the P-joke count. Suffering from heat exhaustion, Bert starts to lose it and records a last will and testament for his ex-wife, Heather.
Give the HK-41 a good home. I miss it. And to some extent, you.
A nice callback to Tremors 2, even if they did get the gun name wrong.
Called me and told me to send her the HK-91.
Getting the gun name wrong? What, did James write this script? God damn it, another P-joke.
Definitely an acquired taste.
Okay, I think that's enough, so... Oh, look, there's a lion coming for a visit. This could be good for another fucking pee joke.
Oh, what have you done to my franchise?
Well, I would like to point out that Michael Gross was actually in the cage with that lion. This was all filmed outside the lion enclosure with a long lens, and Michael would lure the lion over with raw meat and a very interesting catchphrase.
Give me pussy again.
Our urine-soaked hero is alerted to a nearby graboid, but before it has a chance to piss in his face, it's revealed to actually be Travis. Never thought I'd be relieved to see him. There, Tremors 5, you happy? I did a pee joke. Travis takes off with the cage in tow, which hits a residual boulder and damn near kills the 67-year-old man.
You damn near broke every bone in my body.
Clever dialogue getting you down. Does a witty turn of phrase make you feel like the stupidest one in the room? Then you should try pee jokes. Yes, people have been laughing at bodily fluids for years. From the work of Kevin Smith.
Yours taste like piss and flies, don't it?
To Emmy-winning actress Jada Pinkett Smith. No one is above pee jokes. Why take time to craft your dialogue when you can just have a lion pee on your star? Pee jokes. You're in for laughs.
Bert and Travis catch each other up on how Van Wick is a bad guy now, and Travis discovers their ride is out of commission when he confuses the smell of a fart with gasoline. Which, if your farts smell like gasoline, please see a doctor. Not you. They spot Van Wick's broken down Jeep and decide to grab a slice of revenge pie. Extra bullets! They eventually find Van Wick dragging a cooler and chomping on a cigar for no damn reason.
Maybe he loves it when no plans come together.
The cooler is snatched and then violently launched through the air like Indiana Jones in a fridge. A graboid tongue tentacle appears, but it ain't attached to no graboid.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Nope. Turns out these detachable penises were nicknamed grabbers on set, and were one of the few practical pieces built for quick shots like this, where Bert takes one out. And since these are acting independently of the graboid, I'm gonna add this grabber to the log. Another one attacks Van Wick, but Bert is able to shoot it, causing a disproportionately gooey explosion. How you doing back there, Van Wick? Great. At least they got the goo right, even though it looks like the PAs have been replaced by air cannons. Van Wick lands on the ground and finally spits out his damn cigar, while Bert revisits a catchphrase.
Why is it the critical, need-to-know information never gets to Bert Gummer?
And we revisit our favorite underground monster as we get our first good look at an African graboid. Redesigned by Victor Trikov, who loved the original graboid design but wanted a faster, more deadly 2015 model. Like Alec and Tom before him, he went to nature for inspiration. This time a termite that would exude formic acid used to melt and burrow through rock. The body was changed into a corkscrew shape to allow it to travel faster, and boy does it, as we see it leap from the ground like a carnivorous porpoise, twirling, twirling, twirling towards its dinner, where it swallows Van Wick whole. Well, Mr. Van Wick, it looks like I've decided not to endorse your egg poaching endeavor. Back at the reserve, Baruti, Nandi, and Amalie get an unexpected visit from an ass blaster. Very unexpected, since we're told they're nocturnal. But in any event, Baruti finds shelter with Amalie while Nandi gets her Lara Croft on. She stalks the creature in a game of Katniss and Mouse, and sees that it's taken out the telephone lines. While she's off hunting, the blaster finds Baruti and Amalie and chases them into the kitchen for yet another scene stolen from Jurassic Park. Seriously, they're not even trying to hide it. Oh, this has Universal Executive Note written all over it. But unlike raptors, ass blasters don't know how to open doors. So it, oh yes, its way inside. We continue our 1998 Psycho-esque shot-for-shot remake of Jurassic Park until Nandi kills the blaster with some crotch-seeking arrows. Bert and Travis are still out in the bush, now voicing the frustrations of Tremors fans everywhere.
Nocturnal ass blasters, grabbers that detach from the host, and where the hell are the shriekers?
Movie 7, Bert. They come back for no reason in Movie 7. They realize that the graboid was going for the cooler to get the egg, much like the ass blaster earlier by the cave.
The ass blasters are protecting the graboid bloodline.
Hey! That's what we should name the movie!
The only option now is to get into the cave and take out that nest of eggs. Since Rock, Paper, Scissors is no longer sponsoring this franchise, they barter a vest for a phone, and dressed like a Burt Gummer cosplayer, Travis heads into Cave-A-Con to lamely quote Die Hard.
Come to Africa, we'll have some laughs, see some game.
Oh, Jamie Kennedy, you're like Jim Carrey doing an impression of Ryan Reynolds with a concussion. He finds the egg nest and is promptly attacked by an ass blaster. And after waving his torch at it like a villager fending off Frankenstein's monster, Travis runs away, dropping a phosphorus grenade nowhere near the egg nest. It explodes, knocking this random mustache dude away, and we'll assume that the ass blaster was close enough to the explosion to get added to the log. Meanwhile, Bert's called in a Valkyrie for a ride, but unfortunately the explosion attracted a graboid, forcing Travis and Bert to head up onto some rocks, while Den and his co-pilot, not Steven Seagal, find their helicopter under siege. Den tries to save the man, but sadly, this guy's not hard to kill, as this head tentacle tears him away and possibly in half because there's a ton of blood sprayed on Den and Disco Pumbaa. Hakuna Matata, nameless dude. Den busts out an arm cell protector shotgun, but it's too late, as the graboid leaps from the ground and snags Den with its tentacles, devouring him in one bite. Bert eloquently assesses the situation.
This is a bag of dicks.
They need some more ammo, so they sprint off, ignoring the fact that running is what you do when a plan fails. But it does, however, create a stampede that distracts the graboid, allowing them to get to the chopper for an undercooked egg joke.
Let's poach some eggs. Scrambled.
Oh, you want egg jokes? I'll give you egg jokes. As Bert launches the rockets, making a toad-in-the-hole quiche out of those deviled eggs, and it's finally over. Easy, that is. Fun fact, I actually hate eggs in real life, but only slightly more than some of this writing. The egg sanity is interrupted by a knock on the door from Den You Didn't See a Kill Count graphic, Bravers. But how is this possible?
Spat you out.
Yeah, tickle the insides of her belly a little bit.
Been there, done that, my man.
Nice callback to Tremors 3, Whelpley, considering, you wrote that one too. And with the graboid coming to finish the job, they all head back towards the reserve. At the reserve, an ass blaster lands on the roof, but Baruti makes short work of it with a shotgun. They make it to the truck just as a rumble becomes a dirt trail and ends with the graboid smashing into the cement of the driveway. But that kind of thing only kills weak-ass American graboids. This one turns around, taking out some sprinklers, and the splashing liquid gives Baruti a goddamn plan. He goes all Mr. Blonde on the truck and sends it off, while Nandi pads this movie's runtime with slow motion. She then extends things further when she holds and fires a flaming arrow, resulting in an explosion that arracuses up another sandworm for the log. Bert and Travis separate from Den, who gives Bert an FN Mag 58 machine gun. Whoo, nice! He then again contradicts the Earl Bassett Community School curriculum.
Never stop running, but never!
All right, I'll forgive him. I just love that charming old man. On the ride back, Bert asks Travis about Florida again, finally getting to the twist they've been telegraphing this whole movie. Turns out 40 years ago, Bert went to a Grateful Dead concert with a woman named Jasmine. And after Bert gave her the old Franklin's Tower, she gave Bertha to one Travis Welker. That's right, this son of the mask is also a son of a gummer.
Boom! Well, that's gotta stir up some shit, right?
A nearby grabber tentacle can't fathom that Bert is a daddy, so it explodes with disbelief. Or from Bert's Cattleman revolver. The family reunion is put on hold as they make tracks and take out another grabber with a shot that should have also taken out the tires. Bert then asks for a paternity test as they returnity to the reserve. Meanwhile, Baruti, Nandi, and Amalia have escaped. But if you thought the Jurassic Park ripoffs were over, you are quite mistaken. Turns out Amalia found a graboid egg just like Billy in Jurassic Park 3. And that's why the ass blasters have been attacking in the daytime. Because, they're basically raptors in this movie. They stop for gas and jerky because, can't have a road trip without jerky. And stupidly leave Amalia in the car with the egg the ass blasters are after. So fucking dumb. Inside the market, they find not a Chang in sight. Instead, the shopkeeper stays super quiet until he grabs Nandi's leg. They try and help, but he's sucked into the floor, much to the dismay of this pig skull. A final spurt of gore kills him, and Manny Calavera arrives to claim his soul. Back at the truck, Amalia has vanished. She's somehow returned to the village and is getting attacked by grabbers. Why did she leave the car to walk her egg to the village? No time for answers, as Bert, Travis, Nandi, and Baruti arrive along with that lame sunstorm effect. They remind us yet again of this movie's title.
That egg is the last of the bloodline.
Which explains why the grabbers won't attack in fear of damaging their widow baby bro or broette. Oh, but they've got some bigger problems.
And the queen bitch is coming for that egg.
So Travis, or more accurately this guy with a fake beard and drawn-on sideburns, drives like he's in a theme park stunt show, crushing one grabber while Bert shoots another in a satisfyingly squishy explosion. But rather than lead the creatures out of town away from everyone, he tosses the egg bag to Nandi. So does anyone want to do a planning scene and come up with something?
I think I have an idea.
All right, close enough. The plan is to use this very punctual lightning to zap some metal poles and force the worm out of the ground, just like that random scene with Amalia earlier. Travis leads the queen bitch away while they set up the trap, even though we established these graboids are more focused on egg protection than vibrations. Whatever, when they're ready, Nandi sends off a flare, revealing any nearby squads. Travis lazily outruns the graboid animators, leading the creature back to the village, where everyone waits for the guest of honor with more freaking slow motion shots. The graboid arrives, and it's finally time for After Effects lightning to strike, sending 1.21 gigawatts of electricity into our worm. It it leaps into the air with more Zack Snyder level slow-mo until it is finally struck and sent back to the future. Oh, and Mother Nature also hates eggs. We celebrate with a gooey graboid explosion and slimy happy faces everywhere. And so Nandy and her daughter hug, Bert shows some respect to his new son, and Travis says a dumb joke.
I just got wormed.
Bring on the Ewok-style celebration, complete with graboid roast. Yeah, I'm sure it's totally fine to eat that meat.
I'm not gonna eat what I just killed.
Ooh, rejected! Just like Nandy has rejected Travis. But hey, who can blame her? Look at Barudi's sweet dance moves. Bert's spending some time with his one true love when he makes some room for his new son. He's heading back to Nevada, and since Travis promised to help fix Bert's brand, the Jamie Kennedy experiment continues on Bert's reality show. The movie ends with Bert reminding us what Midwestern folks call sodas.
Pops.
But that's not really all, as a mid-credit scene adds Travis to Bert's survival show. This pilot presentation for a show nobody wants does manage to sneak in one last grabber kill before sending us back to the credits. How much of humankind was removed from the cradle by this new species of graboid? Let's find out and get to the numbers in unnecessary
slow motion.
Fuck. Pee jokes. Ugh. What? Anyway, 8 people died in Tremors 5, 7 men and 1 woman. Still not enough to shift our chart hue, but hey, progress, right? With a runtime of 99 minutes, that gave us a kill on average every 12.4 minutes. Bert's hunting log adds 5 ass blasters, 2 graboids, and 7 detachable grabber tentacles, leaving our graboids with no taste in their mouths and a kill every 7.1 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Van Wick. It's our first good look at the new graboid, and it's a nice change from the sucked underground kills of yester films. Plus, it's always nice to see a villain get his comeuppance, especially one with a stupid-ass cigar. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to the random shopkeeper who was killed for no reason and just sucked into a hole off screen. Seriously, this is Tremors. Shopkeepers deserve so much more respect than that. Bert's hunting trophy goes to the queen bitch struck by lightning, mainly because of the elated aftermath. I mean, come on, look at these people. How could I not reward that enthusiasm? And that's it. Tremors 5 Bloodlines came out in 2015 and was the first movie I watched after a month-long media fast while hiking the Camino del Santiago pilgrimage trail in Spain. Suffice it to say, I was not happy. The series would next head to the Arctic for some snowy graboid action, but still filmed everything in South Africa. But you can hear my Sand for Snow rant in 2 weeks when I look at Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell. Until then, I'm a man that Bree must hate for putting so many words in this lower third. And this has been the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
Oh look, there's more of these movies. I mean, what's left? Graboids that swim? Oh, you do that. Okay, what about graboids in the snow? Yeah, that sounds like, wait, is that just sand tinted blue?
Welcome to the Arctic summer.
Damn it, Don Michael Paul. Well, at least tell me that Bird is back.
Perfection.
I'm in.
Round 2, I'm coming with.
I'm out. Oh, actually, is that the return of a practical graboid too?
Crazy, huh?
I'm in. I'm still in.
Oh, whatever floats your boat.
This week, watch the first non-numbered Tremors movie with Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell.
Go on, I'm listening.
A step up from the last film, but a step down in originality.
Look into the wrong goddamn hangar, didn't you, you bastard?
Then on Friday, March 25th, bundle up.
Hell, I'm hotter than a 50 cal on full auto.
Or wear whatever the hell you want when you watch the Kill Count, only on Dead Meat.
Graboids in the Arctic. This could be a whole new ballgame.
Batter up.
Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell can currently be watched on the pictured streaming platforms. Dead Meat always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its Kill Count. It's the only way to have your own properly informed opinion. Kill Counts are never meant to replace the experience of watching a film.
Thank you for watching a Tremors film, kind of, sort of. You know, it had Bert, and that is really the reason we watch all of these things. I want to take a moment and thank BTO Surplus in their Etsy store, which you can check out. They make ridiculously nice Bert hats, and that one right there is actually a prototype that they sent us from part 5. It's not even released yet. Maybe it is. Maybe you should look at the link that is on the screen right now and, you know, buy a Bert hat. I have a bunch now. They're great. Whatever. Let's just head over to the James cam. Up, enjoying himself in the hot tub there. Whoa, don't forget that beer, buddy. That's really... No, James! No, you're dead again. No, sadness. Well, looks like I'll be doing the rest of the Kill Count. Oh, Shivali. TGIF, am I right? Be good people.